Hello, hello. Welcome to this week's episode of the Buzzcast. I'm your host, loldbz, and Ghoulston.
Hello.
Is here as well. Today we're going to be talking about everything interesting that's been going on in video games this past 2 weeks, as well as what's been going on here personally at videoshorts.com. And Ghoulston, give us, if you don't mind, the rundown of what we're going to be talking about today.
The rundown on today, January 28th, 2016, we'll be looking into what was a sudden and interesting patch made to Mario Maker, as well as some interesting game theory related to Mario. We'll also be looking at some of the recent announcements in video games and the gaming space with Evo. And lastly, we're going to be looking into some of the more recent streams on videoshorts.com, including your YuGiOh streams and my Raw Danger stream.
Excellent. Well, let's start off with Mario Maker. Apparently there was a recent patch, even like today, and of course I'm completely out of the loop yet again, so if you want to fill me in on that.
Yeah, absolutely. What happened was, apparently Mario Maker had an issue where they had to announce a surprise maintenance. It kind of just happened out of nowhere. So Mario Maker's online ability went down for what was pretty much 24 hours. Nintendo kind of made a quick announcement like, hey, we have to go down for a day. Be right back. And apparently they've come back online a little earlier than expected with a new patch that pretty much just says adjustments have been made for a more pleasant gaming experience. That's bull. So what happened was apparently someone kind of learned that you could change the level like while you were playing it, kind of like edit the levels that were online.
Really?
Doing a method. There's someone named Jakku. I'm not exactly sure about it. He's a trusted Mario Maker player allegedly.
Jakku, but he like some dark like samurai magic.
His name's like Matt Jakubowski or something like that.
Oh, I see. Okay.
Jack Bauer.
So he kind of
and yeah, he's Jakku. And he's known for looking at these glitches. You know, he's probably seen the door glitch that we've seen in Mario Maker where you can give yourself invincibility permanently.
Right.
As well as
the more recent
some
ones, like making invisible blocks that aren't supposed to be, or weird things like that. Yeah.
So with a recent addition to Mario Maker, there was the world record times that you could get for a level, and someone noticed that someone somehow had like a 3-second world record on a long level, and it's like, that's not possible. And they looked into it, and you can do this glitch where you kind of just give yourself the items that you need that you wouldn't normally have access to, and just kind of like fly through a level or whatever. So they kind of like, alerted Nintendo like, hey, we noticed something's wrong with your game. And then Nintendo tore the guy's video down from YouTube. That was their nice reaction. Thanks for telling us.
Wow.
Go fuck yourself.
That's usually their response to everything.
And then they did this emergency maintenance.
Huh.
So now Mario Maker is a pleasant gaming experience once again. Although I've been hearing that people have been losing their uploads.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know if you've checked recently, but
no, I really hope it's just levels that are not played at all, like not maybe
right.
Like less than like 5 people played it, and maybe that's what they're scrapping. Apparently, yeah, they're scrapping lots of levels. I guess they need to clean up the database because they can only store so much. Really isn't infinite Mario.
Right, I mean, there's gotta be only so much room to make levels, and
well, it also clutters searches too.
We've both seen levels that are just like the opening tutorial level, but then they drop like 5 Bowsers on you.
Yeah.
Like no effort whatsoever.
Or the levels that were like bugged since that door glitch as well, which were never supposed to be possible. Those are probably also purged. Maybe. I'm just speculating.
So If you haven't played Mario Maker recently, I suggest everyone go check your levels, make sure that they're all safe, re-upload them.
I haven't logged in a very, very long time.
I was just playing it like before we started recording, and I forgot how fun it is to make levels. I got like seriously engrossed. It's very fascinating.
It's a really fun game. They really made it really intuitive and really appealing and attractive. It's such a charming little game. It's my favorite for sure of 2015.
There's also all the little additions they've added where it's easy to search for specific kinds of levels now. They've added all the event courses with more costumes, so I need to go through all those. And I think they've changed different kinds of parameters for searching for levels, so I suppose there's like more highlights on maybe the good levels, I'm hoping, not like 15 like Mario roller coaster and get past 5 Bowsers. I'm hoping for less of that.
Yeah, it's high hopes, but I'm still...
I'm assuming the people that still played Mario Maker, what was it, 4 months ago? So 4 months into Mario Maker's life cycle, I'm hoping that people are better versed in the tools and can make a better platforming experience now.
Do you think that they patched out the invisible blocks? They probably have if they got rid of what you just mentioned overnight.
I can't imagine them doing nothing about it. Nintendo's been pretty on the ball with online patching. I feel like I can't think of a situation where they haven't been. Back in Smash Brothers 4, Pac-Man could drop trampolines like through, or drop people through the floor. That's what it was.
Oh yeah, they re-added it.
So they took it out. So unfortunately, I cannot drop people through the floor anymore with the trampoline. So I feel like they're pretty swift in responding to that, and I'm hopefully swift in responding to other issues, other glitches.
It's a double-edged sword. You get more updates, new content now with these new games, but then they take out the fun bugs as well. But fortunately, there are some older games that are still around that have plenty of old and fun bugs to explore.
Designer intended bugs, clearly. Referring to Mario 64.
Of course, yes.
A certain video has been going viral. You sent it to me last week, I think.
Yeah, it's only been like a week and a half or so since this kind of started.
The how does it even like pronounced? Half A button?
Half A press.
Half A press.
So there's a guy out there who is like dedicating his entire life to Mario 64, and what he does is he finds these. He's using an emulator to do it because there's really no way you can just do all this kind of science on a normal console.
Panen Koek 2012 is his YouTube channel.
Yep, and he's trying. I saw one of his videos a long time ago. Someone linked it. No one really cared too much about it, but I actually used a lot of this information for what I did with Twilight Princess because it still applies. It's basically just talking about how the game works behind the scenes. And he did stuff with like cloning, where you like throw your hat and then keep the hat or something like that. And then for whatever reason, the game doesn't know what to do whenever you actually pick something up and uses some object somewhere else, and you can use that and somehow to clone things. But he went into this other thing where he's apparently doing a run of the game, the entire game, with as few A presses as possible. So this is like it's like speed running, but it's like right next door to speed running. Kind of like the Iron Boots thing that I do. Just another limitation, arbitrary limitation. And there's a whole community behind this apparently. I just found this out myself. But he made this long video,
like 24 minutes long,
explaining exactly what a half A press is, which again is another arbitrary explanation. Then goes on to about jumping off of scuttlebugs, and has a terminology for this as well. He kind of comes up with his own little like definitions, and they don't really seem necessary. But it's a really amusing video if you like these kind of technical things. It's also hilarious to see someone go into such excruciating detail about the game in such a way. And for whatever reason, this has spawned a huge following behind this video, where it's almost on the level of like Bane posting and stuff at this point.
I think it's mostly because people are kind of joking about what is and what is not an A press. Like, how can you press a button only halfway or whatever? And he does a good job in the video. I'm sure if you just search like 0.5x A presses, you'll find it like immediately. And in the beginning of the video, he takes lengths to describe to you what is half an A press. Pretty much just if you have the button held in when you enter the level, then you didn't necessarily press the button. You're just having it in the held state. And by releasing it, that is half an A press. And he spends like, I'm looking at it now. He spends like 3 minutes explaining this concept and like getting angry at people because people like keep commenting in his videos like, you can't press a button half. And like he says, I put it in the description of every video. Why can't you read this? It's simple, you fools. And then like has like 20 charts explaining how simple it is.
It's still pretty arbitrary definition though, and apparently it's considered a whole A press for if you consider just the run of the level, but for the overall game, it's kind of necessary because you can't go between levels and not press the A button, and it's pretty complicated, and honestly, no one really needs to know this stuff. But it's funny to see that people kind of getting behind this video here. I think I started watching and it had like 10,000 views. I don't even want to look now, but
it currently, as of recording, it has 663,000 views.
Yeah, that kind of exploded.
I mean, the methodology behind all of his actions, it's like an insane science where he spends a literal 12 hours building up speed, running into a wall, and then transfer his speed in like the moment of like 10 seconds to like traverse the level and bounce off this scuttlebug that he somehow launches into the air without ever touching it. It's cool.
You have to note he's doing it for 12 hours, and yeah, I mean, I don't know. For 1 week in Twilight Princess, or 2 weeks, I was kind of this deep into the game, but like this guy has a ton of credentials that just blow me away. Like he uses some kind of advanced trigonometry and computer science to actually like he has notes. He uploads his paper notes. He uses like a pad and pencil and comes up with these things, and he has all these calculations I couldn't really hope to understand at this point.
I think it is definitely very interesting, and I kind of want to try. I don't know if I could do anything that he's doing, but I don't. It must have been before all this because this video has only been up for 2 weeks. But I remember like hearing that you could somehow beat the game without like pressing A or something like that. So I was originally going to hypothesize and doing a run of Mario 64 without pressing A. But now I want to do now I want to do a half A press run where I just have the A button held in the whole time.
No, but I mean, apparently it's possible. You need about 26 A presses. I've looked way too deep into this already. I don't know why. But I mean, I
just want to see how far I can get without ever like letting go of it.
I would like to. I mean, at this point, it's just you're kind of like way too far behind. I think I'd rather just like transfer it to another game, maybe. Or
maybe
we could do this. We could go backwards and make Mario Maker levels, and then require that someone that could be our competition. Maybe like the least A presses run. Or something, and you have to like record yourself doing it or something like that, coming up with different ways.
Gotta get hand cam, finger paint your thumbnail so we can see it clearly.
That could be fun. That could actually work.
Maybe
it's basically like the Crouchio thing we were doing, except of course, I mean it's a completely different game.
Aereo, Super Aereo.
That sounds like something that we could do, but. That's in development for now. We'll expand on that sometime later. But speaking of things that are in development, did you see the new trailer for the very strange and out of nowhere game Detective Pikachu?
Is that a Pokken expansion?
I guess you could say that since Pokken was kind of out of nowhere as well. But no, it's its own game. There's not a lot of details on it. It's a very strange game where Pikachu, they're not the Pikachu, I'm sure, but a Pikachu,
a single Pikachu,
behaves and talks like a regular person doing regular detective person things. There's really no understanding as to why this Pikachu exists the way they do, but they make some really weird facial expressions. I think they're just trying to kind of humanize this this Pikachu, which kind of leads you to believe that maybe it is a human turned Pikachu or something. But
he's fully voice acted, right? Like he's completely like talks like a normal person, like a Meowth kind of situation.
Yeah. There's no inkling that he might be part Pikachu or anything. It's just he is a person who happens to be a Pikachu. It's really a strange direction to go. I'm not really sure where they're trying to go with this.
I don't see the point myself. If it's like a Detective Layton, or not Detective, Professor Layton situation or an Ace Attorney situation, then that sounds cool, but does it really need to be Pikachu? I think it's just capitalizing on a brand, which...
Yes.
I guess. I mean, that's cool, I guess. I actually saw a petition earlier today for Detective Pikachu. Because, you know, everyone's got to have their say and have a petition. I like this cause, though. It's a good cause. They want the American release of Detective Pikachu to have Danny DeVito voice acting Detective Pikachu.
I'm just thinking of the movie Matilda now.
I think Danny DeVito could do a good job. Because I think I do remember seeing the trailer. And you know, mind you, it is a Japanese spoken video, but the Pikachu did not really have a friendly voice. It was kind of like a gruff, like Pika P.
No, he had kind of a smooth voice, but let's not forget that Goku sounds very different in Japan when he does in English. So I mean, it could go either way. Honestly, I wouldn't.
Yeah, so all voices should get deeper.
Everything's up for grabs at this point. You know,
and Danny DeVito is at the end of the spectrum, just waiting. I think it said that if it couldn't get Danny DeVito, then it should get Gilbert Gottfried, though. which I would be completely on board with,
That's
too.
also just fine. I think I'd like that as well.
I kind of want to try to do a Gilbert Gottfried, but it's impossible. That's just a voice that cannot be replicated. It's impossible.
I want it.
You want that voice?
Yeah, I do. It's if I could choose to have like any like voice on standby that I could revert to, I think that would be it.
Jafar! That's the best I got.
Can you imagine talking just like that man? Just
like Gilbert Gottfried. He lives with it daily. That's his regular voice. He's not like hamming it up.
I swear he is. I swear there was there was an interview. I remember now. There was an interview and he was talking and he's like a normal person, just kind of talking. I'm pretty sure that's not his normal voice, but the fact that he can tap into that power is pretty amazing.
Is he married? I don't know if anyone could marry that.
Like I said, he can like turn down his power level, but whenever he wants to, he just goes Super Gottfried.
Super Gottfried.
I don't know. There's no way.
Super Saiyan 2 Gilbert.
No, I mean, there's no way he wouldn't like have really bad issues if he. I mean, no one would take him seriously. They would just be like, "Hey, say that thing again." Like, I don't know. I remember this very distinctly. It was. I don't know why I'm remembering it right now and not before, but I'm pretty sure that's not his real voice.
It remains to be seen, but in any case, I feel like whoever they get for the voice, I feel like they'll probably do a good job of Detective Pikachu. I mean, is it being made by the creators? What is that studio? Who makes Pokemon? I don't even know.
You just threw me off.
Creature Inc.
No, I know
Monsters
this
Inc?
one. Monsters Inc. Yeah, that's it. You got it.
Mike Wazowski. Why isn't he in Pokemon? I'd play as Mike.
Oh man, I can't remember the name now.
Who the fuck makes Pokemon?
No, we know this one. It's the severe sense of empathy that I have that makes me lose my memory whenever you have forgotten. I know this one though. Like I
think they just might be called the Pokemon Company.
Oh yeah. Game Freak. Damn it!
Game Freak.
I said it at the same time. It's those mind webs we weave.
It's just slight connections. If they're making it, I'm pretty sure they do a good job with whatever they touch, including the aforementioned Pokken.
Oh, speaking of Pokken, I'm really interested in that game now after seeing a few clips. I hope they do have a bit of depth. Apparently, they had a lot of problem with Gengar being overpowered, and blocking was overpowered, and it was not really punishable. But now, apparently, it's a lot more involved and a lot more balanced in that regard. So I'm hoping to see exactly what comes of it. That's one One thing I'm definitely looking forward to, and the next Evo, which is coming up in when is it coming up?
It's usually in the summer, so I'm assuming July, like very early July, because I know E3 is done in June, and then they do Evo in July.
Yeah, so Evo
2015.
Yeah, Evo 2015 is going to have Pokken, or Pokken. I don't know how you pronounce it. I guess Pokken. If you look at it, it looks like Pokken, but knowing the two components of the word, it's Pokken.
And Pokemon and Tekken.
Mm-hmm. Or Tekken, as Bill would say. But in this case, it doesn't matter because it doesn't have the T in it. Pukin.
Well, I mean, it does have doesn't it have two Pikachus in it? It's just Luchador Pikachu and regular Pikachu?
At right now, wait for Detective Pikachu to be in it.
Yeah, he's going to be DLC.
But who's going to voice him in that game? Maybe we can have Gilbert Gottfried in that game.
And then Danny for the actual game.
Exactly. So
couldn't afford Danny DeVito 2 times, but we got Gilbert Gottfried.
Well, it's the best of both worlds. You get one and you get the other.
I'm really surprised that they're going to bring that to Evo, because that's a game that it's not exactly on everybody's radar. It was only announced recently that it's going to be coming out in March.
It come out? March, yeah. So I mean, that's not even going to be out there long enough.
26th.
It can't even
somewhere around there.
Develop. But then again, Street Fighter V isn't coming out too much sooner. So
yeah. But then again, Street Fighter V has been making the touring circuit. Everybody that's been to a major event like Capcom Cup or Evo, those kinds of things. Street Fighter 5 has been there for people. They've even had tournaments for it already. So I think that I'm sure that you can play Pokken in Japan. I'm sure there has been events for it, but it's nowhere near on the same radar. I think they're just banking on. It's a Pokemon game and it's a Nintendo game, so people are going to pick it up.
Yeah, I mean, Smash 4 picked up in the same way. They had it for a while, and it wasn't really picking up that much. But now it's getting more and more. It's just exposure, throwing money at it. Eventually, it's going to go. And I'm sure Pokken will be the same. I'm hoping it's just going to be an evolving game. Also, Mewtwo's in it, so obviously I'm interested. I'll give it a shot. Definitely going to buy it now that I've seen some videos of it. Oddly enough, though, they're not going to show Street Fighter 4 at Evo. I'm really surprised by that. You'd expect it's had such a powerful reception every year, and it's basically always falls to be the highlight every year. And now they're going to move it out of the way for the new game, and it just makes a lot more sense for them to have both games.
Right. Well, before I get into all that, they made the official list of their 9 games, because they always have this big reveal every year of which games are going to be featured on the main stage at Evo. So they're going with Street Fighter V, Smash Melee, Smash WiiU, Guilty Gear XRD Reveal the Tour, whatever, Mortal Kombat X.
That should be 2 slots.
Mortal Kombat X, Pokken, Killer Instinct. Well, Marvel 3 coming back, which surprises me, honestly. I thought that game was dead, but it just can't go away. I guess it's because it's Marvel. And Tekken 7, which, I mean, that's a wasted spot, but whatever.
Yeah, they already got a Tekken game. Why do they need 2?
Yeah, they have the newest Tekken game, Pokken. Greedy, really.
Yeah, that's not even fair. I mean, Street Fighter's been around forever.
But Street Fighter... Street Fighter 5... eats up the slot, no Street Fighter 4. I think that the logic behind it was that they said they didn't feel like it'd be a good idea to have both Street Fighter 5 and Street Fighter 4, because they're trying to move on after almost 8 years of Street Fighter 4 being at Evo, and that doubling down the resources for Street Fighter 5 and Street Fighter 4 being there would be a waste to them, because you gotta imagine that anybody that enters for 5 is probably going to enter for 4 also. So they figure they wanted to keep a variety to help their processing and all that.
So I guess this is just saying, hey, Street Fighter 4 is
dead,
thing of the past. It's time to move on, guys. And
right, you're also saying that's not even on the Pro Tour anymore for Capcom Cup, Capcom Pro Tour. So why even bother, according to them? Although I was reading that one Justin Wong wanted to rally the fans together and get support from Mad Catz for a side stage, so that they can still get Street Fighter 4 at Evo in one form or another. Because there's always games at Evo that's not on the main stage. There's Skullgirls and
There's no
Persona
reason.
4
I'm sure
Arcade.
that'll go just fine. I mean, if he said so.
but it's still not on the actual stage, and that's just, oh well. It'll be interesting. Evo this year will definitely be interesting with games like Pokken, Killer Instinct Season 2 having my boy Rash from Battletoads in it. Street Fighter V's first major event. Smash Brothers Wii U having combo Bayonetta and Cloud in it. We'll see how that goes. Because they did say DLC characters are going to be allowed for the Wii U version.
Oh, really?
And no customs. It's official. Customs are long forever.
I mean,
dead.
they have so many downloadable characters now. It's just unfair, I think, at that point. Well, it's just, it gives every other character kind of options. I mean, I guess you can argue that they're basically different characters after each custom's applied, but...
you could also argue that every DLC character is almost overpowered, except for like Mewtwo. So, I mean, they have the advantage in that they're just already really good.
Yeah. So I guess just Mewtwo should get customs, and they can add customs. I guess. I don't know. But
Evo headlining Street Fighter V, that comes out February 16th. And that is like the main game. That was the first game they announced for Evo, Street Fighter V.
I mean, it's a
so
no-brainer.
That's obviously the big deal. So people will have, I believe they said July 15th to 17th.
So how long has it been since Street Fighter V was released now?
Oh, Street Fighter 4?
Yeah, Street Fighter 4, yeah.
It came out in 2008, I believe. So
it is a long time.
Yeah.
That's a very long time.
8 years. Well, to be fair, Melee has been out since 2001 or whatever.
Right, but I mean, this is a big step because of it. It's a new game. I mean, you get like what a Zelda every like 5 years.
Yeah,
I think something like that. So this is a pretty big deal.
Yeah, I mean, people are clearly excited. I haven't personally been playing Street Fighter 4 since the beginning, but I'm ready to move on. I feel like almost everybody is just ready to move on.
I'm excited to finally be on board for the release of the game. You know, so I can kind of develop
to be
with
there
it.
at launch.
Yeah.
So people will have 6 months. 6 months to prepare for Evo. We'll see you there. We'll do the Buzzcast from there. I'm sure they won't mind.
No, they'll definitely ask for us by name. Speaking of Street Fighter V and its imminent release, they're actually doing one last beta this weekend. I think starting tomorrow, not tomorrow, but like at midnight for Saturday.
The 30th.
The 30th?
Yeah.
Yeah. But
midnight from the 30th.
I said midnight of... Wait, no, it said 12 a.m. on the 30th. So that's like basically tomorrow's midnight if you want to think of it that way. But I don't know what time zone that was. PST, that's a lot of math. Probably like 3 o'clock in the morning or something. But
yeah, they released the cinematic expansion trailer, which I'll get into that in a moment. But they showed that off, and then they were like, "Oh, thank you for being such great fans. We have one more beta just for you." So I'm very curious to see what kind of content is going to be available in that beta. It's only going to be lasting for 24 hours or a little more than that. I'm going to be a little more motivated to do that because I'm actually going to be working for IGN to write the guide now. So I figure, despite my really poor experience with the beta back in what was it, August? That was a really terrible experience where I could never connect online at all, and the most I saw was player 2 Chun-Li tits like go crazy. So I'm hoping I can actually, experience the beta this time. Play some Dhalsim. I don't know why I'm infatuated with this beans and lentils man, but I wanna be the elephant protector, and I'm hoping. Was he in the last beta?
I have no idea. I didn't get. The last one came unannounced on like a Monday or Tuesday, or both days, like 2 weeks ago, I think. So I didn't actually get to hop on. I'm sure they're letting like all the newer characters on. So I want to say that pretty much all the characters are going to be available this weekend to just try a little bit.
I hope so, including Fong. That character, is a new thing. The poison mechanic.
Yeah, that's pretty cool that they have that.
His poison projectiles apparently go straight through other projectiles, I think.
Yeah, and it lasts the whole time and goes clear across. I was watching a video of it, and whenever he enters his critical arts or whatever, if you hit him, you become poisoned. Like physically
when he's
hit
the bird?
him. No, and he's not
it's V trigger
or V trigger. Sorry, I this terminology I'm still trying to get. Like he just if you hit him, you become poisoned. I guess his poison is amplified as well. I want to say because of that there's no way that poison can kill you, right? On its own, I don't think so.
I don't think it can.
Yeah, because that would just be stupid. Yeah, he seems pretty interesting. I think he's a charge character, though.
I hope not. I mean, I'm okay with it, but I don't...
I mean, being a zoner and stuff like that, I guess it feels okay. It sounds all right, but I think at the moment he is a charge character, but I don't know. I have no idea, honestly.
I don't think anyone cares the way I do, but I'm interested to see the story. He's like the number 2 guy. He's got like some kind of weird obsession with number 2. So I'm curious to see who's the actual like main villain of the game. If it's going to be Bison or if like some kind of like rock golem's going to like show up or giant evil Bison. I'm curious about it.
I think it's pretty clear. It's just Bison. I mean, in the head of it all. But I mean, maybe someone's controlling Bison. But I think he's just talking about being Bison's man.
Well,
I don't know.
In the cinematic trailer. In the cinematic trailer, you could see that there is some gossip to be made about maybe being able to see Guile or Balrog in one shot. If you like pause frames, you can kind of see something that looks like the Capray from Street Fighter 4 Ultra. So it's going to be interesting to see how those characters play into it. The thing that really bothers me about it is that it's the fact that they're going to release the game and then they're going to add what is going to be like the actual story mode to it, like in summer, like in June.
It makes sense to me because stories is like on the background, and they were probably just really, really pushing to get online and the balancing out for Evo. So
I get it.
Yeah,
I understand the reasoning, and you know,
it just sucks. That didn't happen that way.
The profits from esports and the profits of having people be able to train and everyone get ready for Evo, and you want to get this game out because it's a multiplayer-focused game, and it's always been a multiplayer-focused game. I get all that. But I feel like in a modern gamescape, that sounds dumb, in the modern industry, I feel like it's not good to just leave out this content. It feels like we're being used and manipulated as a consumer base.
No,
where it's
I mean,
like,
it's
you don't need that.
It's free though.
It's free download content.
And I'm hoping that's like foreshadowing to them just having like more free little updates like that. I mean, they said they were going to do that. I guess that's kind of their promise. I don't know if they're maybe they're holding it back for that reason. Maybe they want to like, you know, springboard off their we're not gonna do that version shit anymore kind of thing.
Here's the thing with that though. I feel like. And again, this is maybe like, you know, the wrong way to look at it, but this is just the way I look at it. I go to the store, I buy this game, and it has a big feature, which I feel like is a big feature. I feel like the story mode, the single player campaign should be a big feature of a game. You go to it, you buy it, and it's not even there. I feel like I'm being ripped off at the moment.
I think you're misinterpreting though. I think the story mode is there. I think what they may be
there's
downloading.
Like the arcade. There's like arcade ladders. Like you can play. You pick Ryu and it says, "I have to avenge my family," and then he fights 10 dudes.
I don't know.
He has one more cutscene.
Is it cutscenes that are being like? I don't know I really don't know what the story update has. I thought it was like the picture book thing. I don't know.
No. The cinematic story experience is kind of be more relevant to the Mortal Kombat X or Injustice or even Killer Instinct even had a campaign update recently, I hear, where basically you kind of go through this overarching story that connects every single character. If it's anything like the way it's done in Mortal Kombat X, then it would be you kind of play a few matches with one character, and then the story jumps to the next character as it sees fit until you have like a final confrontation. And I would imagine it'd be like Ryu versus Bison, the final chapter of the campaign. So it's like this huge story that kind of like goes through the plot. And again, I realize that Street Fighter has never really done that kind of thing before. It's always just been pick your character and experience, you know, this character-based story. Like in 3 cutscenes, you know, fight your rival. Okay, fight Seth. You beat Seth. Now what's your realization? I go home to my village and train more. Like that's okay. But I feel like other fighting games have stepped up and shown that you can have a big campaign experience in a fighting game, and I'm just kind of hoping that Street Fighter 5 has that, and it does now, but it's not going to be there. And I guess the way I liken it is kind of like Splatoon, the way that game came out, but it came out and it was like, oh, but we don't have this, we don't have matchmaking, and there's like 5 maps. I realize it's not exactly that, but it just makes the purchase feel less to me. Like, cool, it's coming, but why isn't it here?
Yeah, that's true. But, well, I mean, at the end of the day, once it does come, I don't really think there's going to be too much to sweat over or anything. I think it's
it's not
a temporary thing. Yeah,
it's not going to affect their bottom line. No one's going to not going to buy. Maybe a few people might not buy the game because of it, but
yeah, but like I don't think like in like 3 years he'll look back and like, oh, I wish they released it at the same time.
Long term, no one will care.
Yeah,
unless like they pull off the content off the internet and you can't download it when you buy the game in like 5 years, and then in that case.
Well,
that case will be pissed off.
Yeah, or maybe they'll do like the definitive. I mean, they can release versions, but if it's free downloads anyway in the background, then you can. It doesn't matter or affect you. But at least,
I'm sure it'll have like in a year when all the DLC characters are out. I'm sure it'll have Street Fighter 5 Gold Edition, where it's not necessarily impairing people that don't have Gold Edition. It just comes with the characters and campaign built into it. I'm sure that'll happen. But nothing detrimental to people that buy at launch. I hope. Capcom has been liars before.
Yes, several times.
So we'll have to see.
We will have to see. I wonder when the new update's going to come for Street Fighter 5. I just want to know when all the new characters are coming out. I'm definitely looking forward to Jury. I know if DiCapri's in there, Raffle's going to be looking for it. And, do you have anyone that you're looking out for?
With the DLC people, I want to try Alex. Just because he kind of blends grappling into anyone that knows how to play Third Strike is like shaking their heads right now. But in my opinion, I feel like Alex blends grappling and also good normals into a good character in a way that maybe Zangief doesn't, or Armika perhaps. So we'll have to see. Also, Yorian, that's going to be interesting too. To see these Third Strike characters.
That wall thing that he does. That sounds fun.
The Aegis reflector. Who knows? But I'm hoping I can rack up my fight money and buy these characters without spending an actual penny.
Fight dime.
I think their system is going to be very interesting. I'm also going to probably end up buying a fight stick and be terrible at it.
You will be. You really should have done this before. It's like learning to play video games all over again.
I'm going to use my IGN money. I'm going to buy a fight stick and I'm going to be terrible.
Yeah.
And also have the loudest buttons.
Oy. No, they're loud. You have to slap them. If you don't slap them, you don't remember how to slap,
Oh, God.
You have to remember how to slap. So
I'm already bad, so maybe it'll make me better. Maybe I'll be as good as I am at launch. We'll have to see. So speaking of games of competitive natures, I want to get better at Street Fighter, but I feel like there's been a recent Yu-Gi-Oh craze, and I want to learn how to play that game.
That game is definitely something to get into. It's really easy to get into, but much like Street Fighter, there's a lot of more complicated things that involve stuff like timing and whatnot.
I feel like
make it a little bit more complicated, but it has a good learning curve where you can start from one set and work your way up, and really kind of understand things gradually rather than going right into like XYZ synchro shit and getting completely lost. I think that's what's the problem today, is that whenever someone looks at Yu-Gi-Oh, they see that and they're like, it's truly hopeless to get into at that point. I think the reason the same reason I kind of got on board with Pokemon when I was younger is because Yu-Gi-Oh had a TV show. It was really fun to watch, and it was so weird to see a card, like a card game in a cartoon. It's just like, it was a weird thing. It was really a novel idea at that time.
Well, that's the thing. I watched that show all the time because I played Magic the Gathering, and I was like, I don't have a card game show to watch. I'll watch this instead. And like, I kind of got the idea because at the end of the day, the concept's pretty much the same. Play monsters, use spells.
Yeah, well,
try to whittle down your opponent's life points. But
yeah, that doesn't really give you anything though. And honestly, the TV show was so inaccurate.
I love that show.
It's so fun though. I don't know why. Like it's just because it's so over dramatized and so overworked and everything's just so ridiculous that it's
he's
fun.
reading my cards. It must be that golden eye he has. If I don't look at my cards, he can't see what I'm playing. I'm gonna blindly summon this card.
Strike the moon.
Go, catapult turtle! Destroy his flotation ring and drop the castle on top of his monsters.
There's actually a line in one of the episodes. He's like, "You can't do that." I just did. Like the rules are clearly not important in the thing, but it's really fun to watch it, and still playing the game does kind of help you appreciate it.
Right, I saw you playing that this past Saturday. What is exactly that game that you're playing?
The name is Nightmare Troubadour, and YuGiOh Nightmare Troubadour. I don't think it has any other. Does it have other?
Troubadour Deluxe.
Yeah, but that was the first time I ever read the word troubadour, and I still am not quite too sure what it means. But it's a game where you. It's really similar to like Eternal Duel of Soul. Eternal Duel of Soul was one where you just kind of go around portraits, duel, and once you fulfill arbitrary accomplishments such as dueling and winning someone against someone like 10 times, the next set of portraits will open up. And sometimes you have to do stuff like beat them 20 times. It got kind of monotonous. But it was interesting and fun, and they had a lot of familiar cards in it. And this one is like that, but with an expansion on what cards are available. Still kind of, in the primitive stage of Yu-Gi-Oh, but a bit more. But the unfortunate thing is that I still am very unsure of how I'm supposed to be progressing through the game and the story.
Yeah, I saw you fight like the same guy like 20 times.
Yeah, I actually had, unfortunately, have to admit that I did have to pull up game packs, and even then I can't figure it out. Even though they tell you how you're supposed to do it, there's very like vague like terminology, and they don't even seem really certain. These people who have played it several times don't really know how to progress either.
That was a DS game, right?
Yeah, it's a DS game.
So I mean, I feel like they should know how to make a game by that point. Yeah. Is it the same developers as the past ones?
Yeah, but well, I mean, they wanted to make an overworld. They shouldn't have made an overworld. So you basically you're this little pin man on a map, and you're just moving around with your little stupid smiley face, and you just select places to go, and there are exactly 3 places to go to. Otherwise, you are moving your cursor over the very bleak and small landscape, despite having nothing on it, until your cursor lights up, like kind of like a Where's Waldo, except you can't see Waldo. You can just kind of feel him, like vaguely, and then you find the duelist by clicking them, and then you duel some random person. But there's no that's it. That's all there is to it. And now you just duel, and then eventually, hopefully, something happens. And I think I beat a tournament, and then now I have another area that I can kind of feel around in.
Yeah, very briefly, I saw you fight Kaiba, and then it said you won the tournament, and then like you went back to doing the same thing that you were doing before.
Oh, well, no, you didn't actually see it. The tournament actually did have a different geography. It was actually in a building and stuff. That was a while ago. That was a long time ago. I was reading my emails to confirm where I was since it was so long ago. But I had won a tournament, and I looked at the FAQ or the walkthrough, and it said, go feel around for this person, they'll have this many stars, and I did, and I found him, and I got the card or whatever. And after that, they said you'll be assaulted by someone overnight or something several times, and then you can find this other person. So I did that, and every time it was panic over and over again. That little 1-star guy with an awful deck, and I just ended up dueling the same person over and over and over again with my deck that I found to have been very, very good. But it was just basically doing the same thing over and over again, following this guide that said to do one thing and one thing after that. There was actually 2 guides that I found. One said that the next step said for one guy that you'll go here and you'll find this guy. The other guide said you'll go here and you'll search around for a while, but this may take up to 2 weeks, so be patient. And at that point, I started drastically losing hope. I still don't know if I want to approach this game or just move on to something. Like, I'm basically moving backwards because The stream that everyone likes is that 5D's game, and
right.
that was like one of the later, most recent games.
Yeah, that's a motorcycle game.
Yeah, and unfortunately, I think 5Ds happened between 2010 and 2011, and 2011 I haven't touched.
Isn't there a newer one with the guy that has like pink hair and like a spirit?
There are new games, but after I think 2011, they went all downhill.
Okay.
Unfortunately, they kind of went the way of that Magic Steam game where you had to buy the cards individually, or.
Gotcha. Yeah, I haven't touched that. Probably for the same reason. I don't want to do all that.
Yeah, I was actually getting into that game. I was like, oh boy, Magic game. And then I realized you have 15 cards you can swap out for one deck, and you couldn't make your own deck. And that just really turned me off. Yeah.
That's why I just steal all the cards and use cockatrice. But whatever.
Yeah, I would say that's probably the better option. I didn't really want to opt for that. I like official
all my
games.
Magic cards.
And unfortunately, the 2010 game, maybe even 2011 game, have that same over-the-top story, and it's kind of fun in that regard as well. But unfortunately, I don't think that's been topped since then. I'm hoping that the summer game that's to be released for 3DS for YuGiOh is going to be good, but the last one they had wasn't any good either. So I don't have a whole lot of faith at this point. So I guess I'm just going to be playing the old games. Unfortunately, I think I'm playing one that's too old at this point.
Well, luckily, there seems to be a lot of them to choose from.
I actually did buy a lot. I was just like kind of looking around. I went to like
you already even have them.
Yeah, I went to like this old antique game store, not antique, but older, and I asked where the Yu-Gi-Oh games were, and I just kind of scooped them all up. One of them that I knew entirely well was awful. Very, very bad. Doesn't even follow the rules of the game.
Oh, God.
You can just fuse anything together and make this like monster that does not exist. and that's basically how it is. You gotta remember these like it's kind of like alchemy. You just like, oh yeah, you put that little frog monster with the little happy fairy one, and it makes the demon king, and that does like 3,000 attack points. Like it was complete bullshit. Even at the time, I remember it was a bad game. I played it. I played it so long and so much for no reason, just because it's a Yu-Gi-Oh game on the. I guess I was like really desperately thinking like, well, this can be good. I really like Pokemon trading card games, so this will be good eventually. And I remember playing it so long at one point. Actually, I don't even think I was playing it that long, but. The tones from the Game Boy actually ingrained into my brain or my ears or something. So when I turned the game off,
what you're talking about.
Yeah, isn't that weird? Like I could hear
to
it,
me too,
and like I couldn't turn it off; it would not go away. It was one of those.
Kind of scary.
Yeah, so I'm really afraid to actually play the game again. But I do own it for novelty, although I haven't tested it or play tested it. I'm sure it's fine.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, not Forbidden Memories. I have that game too, though. That's for the PlayStation.
Duel of the Roses?
Now, Forbidden Memories actually does have some kind of stupid mechanic in it that kind of overarches over it, where it's like Pokemon where you have weaknesses and resistances, but it's not like what I'm talking about. Dark Duel Stories, I believe, is what it's called.
I also noticed during the stream that you grabbed yourself one of the God cards, Slifer.
Yeah.
Are those like actually any good?
No, I don't think so.
They're like so hyped up in the show, which I mean, if you call something the God cards, I get it.
At the time, were they good at the time? They have pretty profound effects, but at the end of the day, they still need your two sacrifices. I guess it has a special self-summoning effect, but it killed itself at the end. I really don't know much about the God cards though. Although I do have the hard copies sitting next to me. For what it's worth, I was gifted a box with Yugi's like famous decks.
Yeah,
and it came with 3 decks, and and then also came with the 3 God cards printed. But unfortunately, they're not the real playable ones. They're just like the ones that they were like in the like the raw the golden whatever of raw has question marks all over it and stuff, and
right.
But it also came with it also came with the cool those cool cards from like the whatever Pegasus little game where he gave like the those little cards for the invitations and stuff.
Oh yeah,
And like one of them was like the King's Room or something, or the King's Throne. It was like a sword with like a mound of golden coins and stuff.
the Duelist Kingdom.
Yeah. Actually, no, I have the Duelist Kingdom card as well. I don't know why. I mean, I'm never going to use them because I don't really play the scene. The scene is probably covered with like 16-year-olds and stuff. I just can't really do that. I didn't want to do that when I was 16, and I don't want to do it now. But I just like having it, I guess. I don't know. I don't know why I was compelled to buy it, or not buy it, but get it.
I still buy Magic cards sometimes. I don't know why either. It's just nice to have cards, I guess.
Yeah. It was a lot of fun at the time, just opening those boosters and looking for things.
Yeah, absolutely.
So I guess that's just a part. It's like a kind of like a lingering like phantom pleasure. It has no like end game. It's just you're doing it. I don't know.
It just scratches a part of your brain that makes you feel really good when you open those booster packs and thumb through what new cards you got.
Yeah, but there's no like long term. It's just like
just more cards.
What are you gonna do with them? How am I gonna?
I still have I still have some of the Pokemon movie cards. I have an Entei. I know that. And I have an Ancient Mew.
Oh yeah, I have plenty of those. Still in the wrapper, worth thousands, I'm sure.
Oh yeah, they only made 5. I think there's like one that's like a misprint. There's like a few that are misprints. So I mean, I guess in technicality you could have a rare one, but the odds, they're not there.
Pretty low. Well, I'm sure you can come to learn and understand the game. It's a gradual process, but I mean, you just basically practice with the games. It's nothing hard. But speaking of games, we don't quite understand. Apparently, you're playing a game that I don't even know about. So, what was the game that you were playing?
So, for the past few weeks, I've been playing a game called Raw Danger. Raw Danger, of course, being a game where you have to survive a natural disaster that's occurring within YuGiOh City, which is basically like Japan, the Japanese version of New York.
Tokyo?
It's like no, it's like as if someone from Japan was told, make a 3D model of New York. That's probably like what they could have put together.
Oh, I see.
Because it still like looks very Japanese. It was clearly made in Japan. It was for a Japanese game series. I can't remember. It's like ZZT is the abbreviation for it. And there was another game that came out called Disaster Report. That was actually the first game in the series. But, localization, they don't care. They just, let's call that one Disaster Report. This one's called Raw Danger. And then, like, the third one, they just didn't care to bring over.
It sounds like a 80s rock band or metal band or something like that.
It's such a cool name.
I guess, but when I was thinking like it was going to be an American-made game whenever you told me the name of it. Does not sound like something from
It was
Japan.
Published by IREM, and I think they are also the guys that published Bubsy. Like, that's all I can think of for IREM.
That's it.
I'm not exactly sure.
They just
They've
went
done
from
something.
Bubsy to Raw Danger.
Probably. But no, this game is... It was really fun for me to play as a stream experience, because the game itself was kind of ass, but every like character has like an intertwining story and has like tons of options and choices. So I could either be like a real jerk and like go up to the other waitress girl while we're working before disaster and be like, hey, I like you because you're rich. Or I could just like, do you need help with these dishes? And then you could like choose to like run and drop the plates everywhere, or you could just neatly stack them. And you don't think of it, all the actions have consequences like later on. Like early on, you see a runaway fugitive, and then a cop comes up to you and is like, hey, have you seen this person? And you could either like point them out. It's like, oh yeah, they're over there. Or you could just like let them go. It's like, no, I haven't seen anybody.
Oh, like Spider-Man.
Yeah, but then the second character you play as in the game is that fugitive. And so if you like took the time to point them out, then your character gets like arrested immediately, and then like completely changes the story from that point on. One of the best moments for me was I was playing as a cab driver who like doesn't get paid and continually reminds his fare woman that keeps using his taxi. He's like, hey, you don't got no money. Where's your money? You gotta pay me this time. But when I was driving away from like a tidal wave that was like going through the city, there's like this dude chasing a high school girl. So I veered out of the way to hit him with the car. I was like, yeah, I got him. But then like later on, I played as that high school girl, and I was like running away from the guy. I was like, "Oh wait, there's the car." He took him out for me. I was like, "Yeah, I did it.
That's cool.
I saved the girl." But like the whole game is just like, everything's falling apart now. Like, earthquake. You have to walk across this beam. Or like, water is rising through the mall. You got to get to the top of the mall. And it was kind of interesting to play a game where there wasn't really any enemies. It was just constantly survive, like all hell breaking loose. Floods, earthquakes, snow. You find like a jet ski and you have to run away from a sudden tidal wave that washes like a building into you. It's kind of nuts.
Reminds me of that one movie. What was that movie called? Crash or something? Where like all these people's stories kind of like intertwine and work together.
Crash. I don't know.
You haven't heard of that?
No.
Is that what it's called? It's like one of those like really like indie movies that was like appraised or something, but it's probably pretty hipster kind of. So I'm not going to talk about it for too long, but
I'll watch it now.
That's what came to mind. It's all right. I mean it's I don't know. It has amazing film direction, but you might not be able to appreciate it.
I just don't have that kind of taste. I want to watch Transformers instead. I need my Shia LaBeouf.
Well, to be fair, there's more to meet the eye with those movies.
It's very true.
Yeah.
So I thought it was a really fun experience. I recommend anyone that wants to see something different to, go experience it. Although it is a PlayStation 2 game, so it's going to be a little harder to get. There's also Disaster Report, which is weird that I started streaming this game because Gongade on Shortstop started streaming Disaster Report unprompted himself. So I feel like a lot of people got a chance to see a lot of that game, but if you haven't seen it, check it out if you have a PS2. Why not? That's the only reason why I streamed it. I got a PlayStation 2 for Christmas, and I was like, oh boy, I can play this game. I got some other PS2 games I'm looking at. Nothing confirmed yet.
I have a big basket of PS2 games.
There's so many of them. They just cranked that shit out.
I know. I was so lucky to have been just in time to get the, like the $2 bargain bin at GameStop before they stopped selling it.
The only other PlayStation 2 game I have right now that I could maybe look at is Quidditch World Cup. Because, why not?
I have that too. Is there net play?
I hope so. I'll do some net play Quidditch.
Man,
I call Hufflepuff.
That game was not. I don't know. I don't know if I enjoyed that game. To be fair, I played it with Fox actually when he was over. I think he just bludgeoned people, but
he's a bludger. What is it? Bludger. There's a seeker that catches a snitch. Man, I can't remember. It's been a while.
Goalie, wide receiver. I can't remember.
Offensive lineman, defensive tackle, quarterback.
Nah, I think you're talking about something else now at this point. I think I was on track, but now you're like kind of like diverting to real sports.
I'm sorry.
The Muggle sports.
Who do you think's gonna win the Muggle Super Bowl?
Gryffindor.
Okay. Panthers. Okay.
That's pretty close, right?
Yeah. Panthers and Broncos.
A griffin is like half panther, half owl, I think. Something like that. No, I mean, there's different kinds of griffins, so I think that's one of them.
Well, it's Panthers and Broncos, so I mean, a griffin's kind of like both. Kind of horse-like, isn't it? Am I thinking of something else?
No. I mean, when you think... I think by definition, a griffin should be a bird and a mammal with strong hind legs and a pronounced tail. So,
like a bronco.
Yeah, that's one of them.
Wait, do broncos have tails?
Yes. Why wouldn't they? They're horses.
I don't know how long though. Like it could be like a dog's, like a pit bull, like tail.
No,
it could be like a little tiny little sausage at
as
the
long
end.
as they want to be.
All right.
Yeah, they're definitely pronounced.
Mark it down in the books, everybody. He's calling for the Panthers. Place your bets. They're actually highly favored. I'm sorry.
This has become a sports stream now. Instead of be like completely one-sided, I'll be like, oh yeah, that's right. Football. You got that.
He caught that.
Yeah.
The goalie. Just one guy standing in the back.
Yeah, goalies. So let's just touch on a couple of closing points we might want to just leave off with, perhaps.
We talked plenty about Mario Maker. We feel like we should both be getting back into that. I'm definitely going to get back into it. I've got the fever now.
Yeah, I don't know. I haven't gotten into it. Next time you're playing it, just do an expert run, just see how much better if you fare.
Yeah.
Because I hated that. I could not get an expert run down for the longest time because I'd always end up with bullshit levels.
I did one like a few weeks ago, like 2 weeks ago, with a friend before he moved back to college for the semester. We couldn't get past the second level. It was really infuriating. I had a good time trying to beat it, but it took me my entire 100 lives. It was like passing it back and forth between him and I.
I was
like,
so mad. Like what the one right before I got it, where it was I went through the entire trail and I was so close. I had like 10 lives. I was like, okay, this is doable. And then I got to a level. It was called like troll level or something stupid. And then it was just a series of doors. And I knew I was fucked already. I never even went back. No, I think I did go back to it and figured out. I think you just jumped the gap that you couldn't see on the other end, and then you were done, I think. So the doors were all death. There was no right. There was no right decision there. No, actually, I think I went in with 1 life. That's right. I went in with 1 life or 2 lives. Like I had nothing. I was like all on this one guy, and I think my subsequent run was fine though. I think it went smooth, and like I was really surprised that I could just do it all of a sudden because I had so many extra runs that were failed because of this kind of crap.
Maybe I'll force myself to do Mario Maker every Sunday. That game's fun.
Sunday is nice. And it even tells you Happy Sunday whenever you boot it
up. Happy Sunday.
So, definitely something to look into. But
I'm looking into that. I'm going to look into the future of Detective Pikachu. Is that a 3DS game?
Yeah, it looks like it is, which is odd because they were definitely like previewing it at first in full high definition, and then it was like, oh, now we're going to downscale it because it's actually a 3DS game. But yeah, it looks like it'll be a 3DS game, which means that streaming is going to be kind of difficult, but still possible if anyone wanted to take that up. Broker would probably be more into that than I would, but we'll see about that. I don't know. And
Evo is on the way,
so we should all be playing Street Fighter, and
also we should be playing Smash since we have our community tournament coming up February 6th, Smash 4.
So soon.
We are on 19 participants right now. So that's a pretty nice turnout. We'll see if there's going to be more. I believe that we're still waiting for the current champ, Lionheart, to sign up, but I've heard that he is interested in signing up, so that'll be good. We still need to iron out a few details, prizes, little other things. But I'm pretty sure we have the stages and items and custom settings all ironed out. Be sure to check out challenge.com/Smeowsh4. Smeowsh is easy to spell. You should know how to spell that already. Be doing that. Street Fighter 5 is on the horizon. It's going to be here very soon. February 16th is the release, so it'll be here by the time we do a second 2 more Buzzcasts. So we'll definitely be spending a lot of time talking about that upon the release. I'm going to learn me some Yu-Gi-Ohs. Do you know when you're going to be streaming more Yu-Gi-Oh?
Maybe later tonight if I'm still up, or maybe sometime tomorrow. I know Supertron was really looking forward to watching it, and he missed it. So I might play that game again. If I can't make progress within maybe an hour or 2, I think I'm going to just drop it, unfortunately, and maybe I'll be inspired to get 2011. That would be fun.
Is that the one that Peaches was trying to
no. Super wanted me to, and Peaches wanted me to play the PSP one, which is going to be on emulator, of course. But it actually goes into XYZs, and it's pretty much really streamlined. There's actually no overworld, which is nice. And I do like overworlds a lot, actually, but they have to be done right. And 2011 is that only other option. And it's very similar to the 2010 game I played, which I liked a lot, but it's, I wanted kind of more of like a transition. But I'll probably try my hand at Yu-Gi-Oh, no pun intended, tomorrow. If not later tonight after Fox's stream, which is coming up in about 10 minutes, right? 8 minutes?
Yep.
Okay.
Thank you for listening to the Buzzcast. You can find new episodes every other week on our SoundCloud page or on the updates page of videoshorts.com.